stuff. I was gonna be all like, I didn't put makeup and stuff on, but I'm actually not as pale as I have been before, so it's not that bad. It could be. I've shown up on here looking some ratchet way before. Well, it's Sunday night. I've had the worst week. Just the worst. Well, yeah, but I mean, even behind the scenes, holy crap. But I might save that just for... Yes. Well, I'm trying to be more human. Detroit, be more human. That's for sure. Because he's not human. Alright. I will talk to myself because I don't think we're going to see anyone in chat on this Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Puppy Bowl's on though. I do like the Puppy Bowl. It's alright, I'm gonna... That is what they show as an alternative to the Super Bowl on Animal Planet channel in America. And it's just a bunch of puppies running up and down a pretend football field, like a little tiny miniature one. And they have little baby rabbits as cheerleaders, and then cats. I forget what the cats are. They might be the halftime show. I can't remember. And nerds like me. Well, when it very first started, it was like 15 years ago or whatever. So nerds like me would watch it because it's like 3 hours of just puppies. That's it. There's no humans or anything. But it got popular. That's what's crazy. Oh. Well, I'm glad. Oh, wait. You have to talk. Okay, hold on. Let me, oh, crap. What are you considered? We'll do, okay, I think maybe.
Human. Only just.
There we go. Got it.
There you go, yeah.
So
okay.
It's only 3 minutes without Pete's, vivacious tones.
I mean, let's be honest. I wasn't saying anything interesting anyway. I was just making sure that my levels were coming through okay.
Well, I was telling our invisible audience about the puppy bowl.
Well, I learned something new today. Something I don't ever want to watch.
It's so adorable, and it's got kittens in it, just for you, Pete. I just don't remember what the kittens are.
Howdy, Nana.
Hey, Nana!
Yeah, looks like Nana's completely proved you wrong.
I'm glad. I like to be proven wrong.
I know you do. I'm glad about it as well.
I'm going to do this, though, because I feel like I'm yelling.
You're not, don't worry. I always have that problem myself as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Rock and Sock and Hulk as well. Howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm very surprised.
The title has clearly been enough to stoke interest.
But I'm surprised to see him here because I believe you are in North America, if I am not incorrect. So Super Bowl fever must have gotten over to where you are.
I mean, to be fair, it does it's on the west coast of America, so I don't even think it starts for a few hours. So might be okay.
It's a full day of celebration.
Oh, I know they make it a day of it. It's sort of like the FA Cup used to be over here. But
yeah. It would be something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't around for the actual... I clearly wasn't as well for the heydays of the FA Cup, where it was literally an all-day thing, like the Super Bowl was. Start crazy. At 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Go all the way through. It was crazy. That was during the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, my goodness. Superb owls. Yes, I was informing Mr. Pete here about the American tradition of the Puppy Bowl. that is shown concurrently with the Superb Bowl. Super Bowl. Superb Bowls.
Super
'Cause
bowels.
did you know, Pete, that Super Bowl, the actual Super Bowl, is copyrighted and you're not supposed to say it on broadcast? At least in the US. I'm pretty sure you can get away with it in the UK.
Well, I'm going to be honest here. I don't care. The NFL can suck my left nut. So, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
It can suck your Super Bowl.
Well, that doesn't sound interesting at all. I'm not even sure what one of my Super Bowls would be.
I don't want to think that
It's
much.
definitely not super.
Oh, not gonna go there.
Okay, 2 secs. Just going to check this fail.
Okay. So how you doing, chat? I do my favorite thing. My favorite Kieran, to this day, my favorite Kieran intro, which is, well, hello, chat. Because when you ask for high energy, Kieran's going to give you low.
Can you tell me if this messes anything up too much?
What?
What about now?
I didn't hear a difference.
Any bit now?
It's a little blurry.
Just turning the gain up.
Oh, you're peaking.
Yeah, I'm trying not to peak too much, but
Yeah.
it's just a little quiet on the audio recording.
Oh, okay, because it's coming through my audio fine. I don't know how it is for the audience.
It seemed to come through fine on there. It's just I think I need to do some mucking around with the settings of a voice meter because of the new microphone. We just haven't had a chance to do that yet.
I am already quite spicy.
Okay, well, let me tell you now, I'm already hocked up on lots of chocolate.
Oh, it's gonna be an exciting show. It's gonna be a short one too.
I'm also going to tell you that I'm going to get quite Larry today, so you know.
You're gonna get quite what?
Good luck.
You're gonna
Larry.
Get, what is that?
Quite mouthy, quite gobby.
Pete's favorite thing. We're gonna have a classic Pete rant today.
You might have a couple.
We have not had those in a while.
Also, I must tell you as well that I'm now up to your favourite MCU show to watch.
Which one?
She-Hulk.
Oh, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite.
I was joking more than anything. I was being somewhat a little bit flippant, let's say.
It went like this. It went just the season of She-Hulk went, ooh, ah, ooh, poop, and then Daredevil showed up, and then poop again. It's just like, But we will be discussing our actual favorite TV show, and I have some things to say about that when Pete returns.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Rachel just messaged me about something that was in a bag that wasn't supposed to be in her bag.
Okay.
Receipt from yesterday that I need for a pair of trainers I bought.
Oh, right, okay. I thought she was hiding birthday stuff.
No, not quite yet.
Yes, Pete has to cut out early today, so we're gonna speed this along.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna get started in a minute.
So, okay. Do you want to
should we get going?
Okay, let's do that. And,
okay.
Yeah. What number is this
got to
again?
keep 149.
149. Okay.
Which I'm actually just gonna double check because I'm second guessing myself now.
Always second guess. Third and fourth guess.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
149.
Fine.
Okay. Let's see what adventures come out of my mouth tonight.
A lot of stuff.
I have pink prosecco, man.
Oh God.
And I've only had one glass. This is my second glass, and I already am like, woo!
Oh, I recognise the mug.
I do. It's last year's birthday present.
Along with the other Mario set.
Which our audience will be happy to know that I didn't last year, but this year I dropped the ball, keeping with our Superb Bowl references. And
you fumbled, you mean?
I fumbled that ball really hard.
Did you fumble on the 50-yard line?
Sure. Whatever.
Are you enjoying
that
these
means,
sports ball references?
I love sports ball. But I did, in fact, not forget, because it's definitely here somewhere. But it's become such a part of my furniture in my bedroom, I keep forgetting to pick the box up, go take the 3-minute walk. I don't even think it's 3 minutes. I think it's 2 minutes. To the little corner shop.
So basically what you're saying, a 15-second car ride for you?
Well, yeah, if I was going to, kill the environment, I could get in the car and go 15 seconds down the road. And then...
I thought you probably would, to be fair.
Sometimes, yeah, especially if I'm
Yeah,
on
I
my way
know
to the
you
gym,
do.
I would. But my car is currently in getting serviced and getting the brake light repaired.
Brake light repair.
And I miss her very much, and she needs to come home now.
Oh, bless.
I've been out for 4 days now.
Of course. So let's crack on, shall we?
Yeah, we should, because we gotta
start. Yeah, I know. I'm starting the recording now, so
okay.
I'll count you in. 3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio podcast, episode 149. Man, I had 2 weeks there where I did excellent, flawless intros, and I messed that one up. But that's okay, because that's how we are in Rapid Reviews Radio.
I mean, it's okay. You've realised after you said it, so corrected the error. Clearly self-aware enough.
And moved on. I'm also full of pink prosecco. But I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And we have a really big shoe for you tonight. We really don't. It's actually very quick to get Pete out of here.
No, it's not quick. We've got a lot to discuss, but we're going to try and sort of streamline it and not go into many tangents.
Yes, which won't be a problem. But I'm going to do the intro for that later. For now, I'm going to do what I do every week, which is check in with our guests. But we don't have guests. So we'll check in with Pete. Pete, how's your week been?
Fine, I guess. Just staring down the barrel of another year of, leading to my death. In case you didn't understand that, the birthday's coming up soon, so yeah, another year older.
I'm no longer celebrating birthdays. Ever.
I don't want to anymore. Not now.
Yeah, but you're surrounded by people who want to celebrate it with you, and that's lovely. That is lovely.
Oh, I know, because parents did the old happy birthday with cake, and I literally was sat there. I was sat there just like, this is so awkward.
Oh,
so cringe.
I don't know. I haven't had a birthday cake in like 15 years.
Well, when it's your birthday, I will make sure to send you a cake.
Okay, through the mail.
Yes, I'll make sure it's a keto cake as well.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah.
Anyway, other than that, fine, I guess. How's your week been?
Well, I have had a cray-cray week. Both personally and professionally. Holy crap, I am so glad it's over. I am sitting here right now full of DOMS, and DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness before any of you pervs get any ideas. I am sore from top to bottom. Oh my gosh, my core hurts so bad, and I have to do it all over again this week. But
no pain, no gain, as they say.
It's for real. Like, that's for real. Like, you think that's just to say, but it's not. So all this ripping and tearing I've been doing in my muscles this week means next week I'm gonna have all the gains. Woo!
Nice.
But I don't remember what I was gonna say. It's gone now. The way of pink prosecco. But that means we'll move straight into our We Got This. It's very short. It's about a 2-minute segment of our show where we like to stop and recognize, have some mindfulness time, recognize how important mental health is in everyone's life. No one is immune. You are not immune.
Yes.
And this week's is pretty straightforward, which is it's another one of those dang blasted made up holidays. And so a lot of you out there, I know because you've been in my DMs talking to me, a lot of you out there are feeling the pangs of loneliness. And you know what? Ironically, you're not alone in your loneliness. I don't know if that makes you feel better. It should. But
no. You're also not alone in thinking that this holiday is a waste of freaking time.
I've never met a straight cis male who likes Valentine's Day. Never. They
Well,
all
let me
say the
tell
same
you,
thing.
I hate it even more than
Oh,
everyone
yes.
else.
Pete has he's authorized, he's valid, he's allowed to. Why is that,
I
Pete?
think no, I think anyone is valid to hate a Hallmark holiday, but you know, when you share a birthday with it makes it even worse.
Oh, but Pete, you're like a gift to your parents, a Valentine's Day gift.
Julian, let's not go into that. Moving on very swiftly. Do not want to think about that one at all.
But I do want to say out there, if you are feeling particularly lonely at this time of year, you're not alone, and I don't mean that as a joke, but you're not alone in that. It is a made up holiday. If that helps you get through it,
Works for me.
yeah. I am seeing a lot of my friends sharing loneliness poetry because I'm friends with a lot of creative people.
It's
Pete's
probably the
having
best typo I've seen in chat ever.
Pete's having a little giggle over there because he's reading chat. What does chat have to say?
Rock'em Sock'em Hope said V-Day and April Fool's Day are almost equal in the ass battery they create, and realise that it's supposed to say ass battery.
That is awful and yet beautiful at the same time.
I mean, shall I say it? You know what, sod it, I'm going to say. A lot of couples might be exercising some ass battery that day.
Oh, dear. Okay, so this has totally ruined my We Got This segment. But we hope it made you laugh. But the truth
no,
is...
I cannot call the episode that.
Oh, Pete. Oh, what a good title that would be.
Don't tempt me, I will do it.
But just realize you're not alone in your loneliness by any means. And if you do feel particularly alone, because it is, what, the 12th right now?
Yes.
If you think it's bad right now, the next 2 days are going to be awful. But maybe, much like myself, you can comfort yourself with the knowledge that on the 15th, all the candy's going to be half price.
Yeah.
You know, all the chocolate.
A lot of chocolate flowers are all going to be like half price.
I love chocolate so much.
So do I. That's why I treated myself to some nice Hotel Chocolat ones yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me started because one of them's Eaten Mess.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm looking forward to that one. It sounds amazing.
Okay, I'm literally like salivating over here. I am for real a chocolate addict, like big time.
Me too.
Yeah. But so I hope we brought a little levity to this situation. Don't think that it's entirely hopeless. We're all out there, believe me. And remember, if it gets too bad, to reach out. You can reach out to, we've said it before, the Samaritans, and your local hotlines and stuff like that. No shame in reaching out. And guess what? There ain't no shame in being alone either.
You know what? I'm also going to say as well?
What's that?
DMs are open. Message me on Twitter. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll help.
Yeah. I might not always reply because I've been having some cray-cray stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow my Twitter, you can probably see it.
Which is what I said to you before we started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of forgot what I was saying there. I've had a lot of Prosecco before the show started. So we're going to move on.
We are, because we're just going to... Let's touch on this briefly, because this is now...
we're going to bring this down. We're going to get a little somber here. Unless you're living under a rock, you may know that there is a great controversy this week.
Oh, wait. I thought we were going to discuss something else first.
Oh, Pete, what?
Well, I thought have you forgotten that we're now a Last of Us fan cast?
Oh my gosh! What is wrong with me? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's
briefly discuss the next couple of episodes, because we had a drop early, and one episode dropped to 2 days early, so we actually got the chance to watch it before the show.
Yep. Yeah. So are we 2 now?
Sorry.
Are we discussing 4 and 5 or just 5?
Episodes 4 and 5, I think.
Okay. Well, Pete, you lead off, because I got
Yeah, because 4 would have been after we recorded last week, and then this one's come early, so yeah.
Okay.
So 4 and 5. Right. Trying to remember what... Oh, yes, episode 4 is actually my favourite of the series so far.
Let me remember
So
what for is.
whilst the episode 3 is fantastic,
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
for various reasons, obviously, we won't go into discuss that even more.
Oh
I just
yes.
actually really liked an episode with just Joel and Ellie.
I was gonna say, Pete, when I was watching it, I will say this, and then I'll let you continue on. I was watching that episode 4, and I went, "Oh, I think Pete's gonna start liking this."
Finally, I did. I finally feel like I'm getting attached to both Joel and Ellie and Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as a result of it, because, funnily enough, I felt there was a bit of a personality
Yeah. I
which
still,
has not really shone through at all in the other couple of episodes when they have been featured heavily.
yeah, I still wonder if that was intentional. I'm not sure.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. But Pete is right. Also, if you haven't been watching The Last of Us, you might want to skip ahead a couple minutes. I forgot to do that warning. But Pete is right. It's the, oh, I forget what they call it. But it's the characterization. Yeah, it's the characterization turn in the narrative where we get to know a little bit more about Joel and Ellie individually, but also as they begin to bond.
Yeah, as the collective.
Yeah. And my theory about Ellie kind of being guarded and acting like a little brat because, you know, she was really scared and stuff like that, that kind of comes out a lot more.
Oh, yeah, because of that revelation, she's not the first time that she's done that.
Yeah.
Which I
And,
saw a mile away, by the way.
oh, yeah, yeah. I will say this about The Last of Us. Like, the writers are great. I only have a few little things, which we'll talk about for, you know, this next episode. But they're not good at hiding. Like, they are very big on telegraphing things, which I think maybe on a television show is okay. But
Yeah, I've got no problem with that, because then some sort of revelation just doesn't come completely out of nowhere and it's unearned, let's say.
yeah, it's almost
Like it's
believable.
almost a trope of storytelling that you have to telegraph something particularly early on to then have the reveal to then shock the not shock the audience,
Right.
but to make it make sense to the audience.
Yeah. And a lot of shows nowadays don't do that. So they'll just like, oh, we'll just spring this thing on and it'll shock the
Or they'll
audience.
do it,
And it's like,
or
what?
they'll have the revelation and then they'll do like a flashback or something to try and show that context.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There was a show recently that I was watching that I can't remember. Because I can't remember what I was watching before The Last of Us. But they just stuck a right in the middle, like a surprise twist. And it was like, what? No.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah,
make
they
sense.
do. Some shows do that quite frequently,
Yeah,
actually.
it's very common nowadays. But but no, I completely agree with Pete on this episode. It was it moved well. Just when I thought it was going to get a little laggy and slow, it kind of went up the pace up a little bit. Joel started showing some actual protectiveness over Ellie.
Started showing he's an actual actor as well, Pedro.
Yeah. Still not the strongest performance from him.
No, because that Texan accent still disappears on a whim.
I wish he would just have never went for that. You know, honestly, he could have used his true accent. I mean, you know, Chile's not that far from Texas. You know,
Chile or Chile?
Chile, and their flag is nearly the same as ours. So,
almost like it was commandeered by Texans.
I mean, sometimes it seems like it. Yeah.
Okay, let me just say on the last bit of episode 4, that ending joke actually made me laugh more than it should have done.
It was so good.
It was terrible, but it was
so
the delivery of it that was
terrible.
perfect.
Because it was so natural.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was cracking up, and I love that I was laughing, you know, at this episode, because that's what it was meant to do. It's supposed to, you know.
Yeah, this one was the lighter episode of all of them.
Yeah, because this whole series is heavy and dark. You have to have, and this is not a pun on any of this, but you have to have the light. You have to go towards the light. Yeah. Because it is such a dark, heavy narrative. And I'm sorry, the delivery of that joke was perfect. It is something like we've all been in that situation. like trying to fall asleep and you're giggling with your friends or your parents
Mm.
or whatever, just somebody, and you're in that sleepy talk, and
Yeah.
oh, it was great. It was so good. I think
Yeah,
that was genuine
I think
laughter.
they left it on the great spot for obviously the end of the episode to give you
Hmm.
something to then go, oh, cool, what's going on in episode 5?
And
Right, so moving on to episode 5.
yeah. So I actually do have a tiny criticism. I will say that I think episode 5 is probably the weakest for me. So far.
I still think episode 1 is probably the weakest so far.
Um,
Half of episode 1 is weak, let's
yeah,
say.
yeah. I think because it was the setup or whatever, and because Sarah's actress was so good. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I do have to agree with you. I think this is it isn't the strongest of episodes, and I think there's reasons behind it, but I'll let you go first on this.
well, I was annoyed at first, so I'm going to be very honest. I at first did not recognize the two characters that were introduced from the game, and I definitely didn't recognize the other two because they are not in the game.
Is that the kid and I
The
can't
kid
remember
and his
his name.
brother, Henry and Sam. Um,
Yeah.
they're in the game, but they're in there. I thought they were just in there for a brief whatever. Huh. As soon as Joel got to the sniper bit, then it just went. Whoosh. It was like my Swiss cheese memory went. Oh, I know. Okay, now I've got it. Now I see where we're at. Who these people are. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting. They've changed it a little bit from the game. Again, you can change things from the original source material if you keep the main theme and the main story flow.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah, which is fine.
details.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, these are very minor. Sometimes aesthetic reasons. Sometimes just filming reasons and pacing reasons. Because television pacing is very, very different from video game pacing. We know this. So they changed.
It's also the fact that you've got one form of media that's passive and one that's active too.
Exactly. Yeah, Pete took the words right out of my mouth. And it's kind of cool the way they set up QZ, which is funny, by the way. I am kind of an idiot, and I wasn't getting a lot of the jokes on Twitter, which was people were, in the Super Bowl, it's Kansas City versus the Phillies. Philadelphia.
No wonder they've moved the episode forward. That makes sense.
well, so everybody was making these jokes like, "Oh, if who wins, who would you want to? What city would you want to visit?" And everybody's like, "I'm not setting foot in KC. I'm not setting foot in KC." I was like, "What?" And then it clicked because I'm not very bright at times. Oh, they're making a reference because this episode is set in Kansas City. So, and it turns out to be the harshest, Fedra, as they call it.
Yeah.
Federally ran, government ran QZ. And there's some insurrection and stuff like that, but they don't really dwell on that. I
was surprised about that, actually.
Yeah, they just presented it very factual. Oh, this is a thing that happened, and they do a very quick, flashback thing.
Yeah, so now they've decided to go with the tell not show idea of this one.
Yeah.
All of it was delivered through dialogue, narrative, and visual cues.
It was really cool the way they did that. So even though I'm saying this is the weakest episode, please know that this is still strong writing, strong acting, strong everything. It's just... Okay, Pedro's still not great.
No. There is one other person in this that I thought was...
I think... Are you talking about the lady, Kathleen?
Yes, the actress playing her is poor.
I think... Here's my thought on that. Because, Pete, that was my first instinct. I'm not going to say instinct. That was my first opinion. I think it's done intentionally because she's so off-putting that she seems crazy. I thought she was crazy. I thought she was hallucinating. I thought this Henry didn't exist, and they were just kind of feeding into her, crazy.
Into a delusion.
Yeah. And she is very, she's very soft-spoken, and she talks like a soccer mom. And then she's like a psychotic killer. So I think it's done on purpose.
That I didn't really have a problem with
her delivery
at all.
Was terrible.
It's just for some reason it was just the delivery of her lines I just felt were just felt really off.
I
Like the dialogue choices for her didn't really feel right, and then and then you get towards the back end of the episode where obviously they're at the house, and obviously everything comes crashing forward, and she gets her comeuppance. But even when she dies, I'm sort of like, yeah, this is not really portrayed very well at all.
it was odd. I agree with Pete that it was odd. I just wonder if it was intentionally odd. I will have to go back and watch. I rewatched these episodes. I had to
Yeah.
rewatch 3 and then
Well,
Crisis again. But
I haven't yet, but I'm planning to probably just once the season's done, I'll go back and rewatch it then.
oh, definitely.
Like probably in the lead up to 2.
Yeah, because you see all the clues and stuff. I'm probably not going to watch season 2, to be honest with you. But
I will.
yes, you will take that hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna bite that silver bullet for you.
Here's where I am a little bit disappointed. So the characters are almost identical to the game characters. Almost. Sam is a little bit younger in the episode than he is in the game. And they chose to make Sam deaf. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
But here's the thing, and there are spoilers ahoy, so please skip ahead. I'm telling you. The problem with that is Witcher did the same thing for Witcher season 3 or whatever. Whatever the latest
Season 2.
is. Season 2. One of the coolest characters in the Witcher season was on screen for about 5 minutes. It was a deaf black elf.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed him immediately. It seems to be a trope. Let's get all of the woke characteristics in a character that we can, because he's going to die anyway. Then we just say we appease the woke audience and then we kill him off. I didn't like that. Now, I will say this on their behalf. The deaths were identical and mirrored exactly the game, so I can't be too, like, oh, they avoided the kill your gays trope, which I thought was beautiful. But they still killed your disabled trope. Or killed your minorities, marginalized people. But, to balance it out, it is exactly the way he died in the game. It's identical. But I was annoyed by that choice.
Yeah. Look, I never really got that impression when I was watching it. I just got the impression it was a person who was cast in that role, and they were the best person for that role at the time. I didn't sit... Because, funnily enough, I don't tend to look at, sexuality, skin color, or anything like that.
No,
and, so long as the actor or actress portraying them is good, and the performances was good, that's it.
Absolutely. But I mean, the character in the game is not deaf. So they chose...
Yeah.
Which, again, that's cool, more representation, but did you have to choose a character that they were going to off? To
be honest with you, I actually thought that the angle of him being deaf was a good one to take, because obviously the scenes where they're walking through the city with the gunfight with Joel and the other raiders was done so well.
My intern watched it, and they said they liked it because they never thought... Of course, people with disabilities or different abilities, or however you refer to it, are going to exist in the apocalypse. Of course they are. And so they were absolutely, not floored, but like happy or whatever, great to see that. Because they'd never thought of that. And that, from that angle, I like that. I'm just tired of them killing off the cool characters.
That principle I do get, because they were very, very well done characters, but
this series is not a happy series. If it follows the game, it doesn't have a happy ending. So that type of thing. But for overall so far, now it's only been 5 episodes so far.
Yeah, but that's most of the season already. That's half of the season already.
I know. Is it half? I thought there was only 8. Is it 8 or 10?
9 episodes.
9. Okay. We're hurtling towards the end. But for me, it was the weakest of all.
Probably would have to agree with you on some degree there. Yeah, I would.
Will say this though, the bloater was bigger.
Whoa! You're talking about the big hench one that comes out of the... Oh my god, that was menacing. Where it just completely rips the guy's head off.
He was bigger than I expected, because in the game he doesn't seem that big, comparatively. And the way he moved, it was genuinely terrifying for about
It
2
was,
seconds.
yeah. I was watching it. I was like,
whoa.
oh my god.
Oh my! And the whole idea of, and we're wrapping this up. Don't worry.
Yeah,
The
I know.
whole idea of them the Fedra had forced the infected underground, and we're keeping them underground. That was kind of a cool angle.
I
don't
did like
think that was
that,
in
actually.
the game. I don't remember that being in the game. Of course, correct me if
No,
I'm
but
wrong,
you knew
audience,
full
but-
well that the minute they explained that they kept them all underground, something was going to happen to get them out
Yep.
from underground and cause complete carnage. I just didn't expect the bloater.
Yeah, that's crazy. But see, you know what else is crazy about this? And this is just technical, boring stuff, and then we're going to wrap this up. I swear. There were so many infected, and it was the, clicker runners. Those have only been infected for at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, the bloated one, I think, is, 3 years or something.
Yeah.
But that means that there were still infected in the city a year prior that Fedra was forcing underground. That's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Yeah, I think there's some little tiny ins and outs. But The Walking Dead was also notorious for that.
Yeah, let's not get started with that, because that made so many missteps in so many places.
I know, everyone stopped watching at the same time. But anyway, so that's my thoughts on it. Pete, do you want to add anything else?
Just got some final thoughts on it. I think that the best parts of the episode were actually between Ellie and the other child. I can't remember his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Their characterization when they're nerding out about the comic book and talking to each other in the bedroom using the board. I've really liked all of that stuff. When she reveals to him, obviously, that her blood is medicine.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cute, really touching, and I really could see the angle which she's going for with at least trying to help him, knowing that he's probably going to turn anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, the revelation at the end where he has turned and he's sitting at the bed, was coming from a mile away, but it still hits home, nonetheless. It's very well done, actually.
It was so telegraphed, and I know the ending of that just from the game, that I actually had a moment where I went, they've changed the ending. He's going to be okay. Because this is too obvious. It's far too obvious.
Yeah, I did wonder whether or not they were going to do the old bait and switch and go, oh look, he's going to be infected. No, he's not. No.
While we're talking about that, the actor that played Henry, that last scene of his, again, I knew it was coming. This is all in the game. He made that his own.
Yeah, absolutely.
He actually portrayed the grief and the fear and the shock and the just getting chills thinking about it again.
Well, yeah, he knows what he's done is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, for the sake of the free.
I mean, the thing is,
but it's still his brother.
It's his brother, and Pete, you're frozen.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I don't.
Just do your camera. Just restart your camera.
Okay, let's see.
But right. I mean, the fact that it's his brother, and the fact that he betrayed his own morals and belief system to save his brother, all of that, it just all came out in that 30-second performance. Pete, you were supposed to just restart your camera. Where'd you go? Oh, goodness. This is how it is, my friends, when we are doing a very quick show that we're under a lot of pressure. Oh, great. It's just me. This is my absolute favorite. Oh, great. Well, here's me talking to myself. Our wonderful watchers over at Rapid Reviews I did it wrong. Twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews can see this wonderful panicking moment. Oh my gosh. I think Pete's returning.
Really weird.
What happened?
My Discord just completely froze up.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was 39:34. So if you want to mark that down.
Don't worry, I paused the recording.
Oh, good. Okay, so only our streamers will get to see that wonderful moment.
Oh, and YouTube.
And YouTube,
Anyway,
yes.
right, I'm going to
Okay.
restart now.
But yes, so that whole moment where it's his brother, he's had to betray his morals because he had to do something very shady. Had
Yeah.
to turn in a friend that he
Mm.
adored and to Fedra in order to get medicine to heal his brother from leukemia. I think any of us would do it. It's a really good examination on your morals, how they change in dire situations. Well, for some people they do. But anyway, the guy doing this, the guy portraying this character, just in like 30 seconds, he just emotes all of it. But
yeah, from pure grief, pure sadness, pure anger at his own actions, and then absolute discontent that he's had to do what he's had to do, and then
it was
acceptance of this is how it ends.
Yeah.
Went through the 5 stages of grief almost in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So you see, when I say this is the weakest episode for me, and I'm still like, oh my gosh, that moment.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. To say it's a weak episode in comparison to the rest of the series just shows how like the level of quality throughout the whole series.
It's such a renaissance of writing for me. I hope, I really do hope that this leads to better quality entertainment in the future.
I hope.
And I think that's
anyway,
enough for that.
Let's move on.
Okay, now back to what I was saying earlier.
Yes.
Unless you have been living under a rock, there has been a great gaming controversy this week. It has affected most people. Some of us don't really have a dog in this fight on either side. But it's, invaded the ranks of even rapid reviews, stuff like that. It's very, it depends on what side you want to be on in this situation. And there is a side. And that, my friends, is the Nintendo Direct.
Nice bait and switch there, I like it.
Yes, we are going to discuss the Nintendo Direct. And if you thought it was anything else, then you don't know us.
We will not be talking about said wizard game.
I wasn't even going to
Maybe next week we will.
Never. But Pete, though, is our resident Nintendo. We joke and... Oh, yes, for our viewers at home. He has 3 pages of notes. We joke and say fanboy, but Nintendo. But Pete-tendo. Haha. It's the first to come out and
because
say...
then I'm going to start making a new site that clearly rivals friend of the show, Mike Tendo.
There you go. But he does actually keep it pretty balanced and nuanced, and will actually say, when Nintendo's not being a good person, a good boy. So.
Yeah, I mean, me, you, and said Kieran have had a couple of disagreements on the show about fanboyism. And
yeah, because the truth is, as balanced as I'm just gonna speak for Kieran right now because he's not here. As balanced as Kieran and I try to be, we are who we are. Now I'm a little bit I'm a little bit more of a Bethesda fangirl, but also an Xbox. I am an Xbox fangirl. Just when at the end of the day, I just am. Whereas Pete is pretty good at balancing it.
I mean, I would say yes. Okay, my vast majority of my play time and attention tends to verge more towards Nintendo. Mm-hmm. That's how I grew up, to be honest. But anyone who's watching the video can clearly see that I have no preference, because all there.
I definitely have a preference.
I mean, I was playing the Xbox this morning.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush is sick, by the way.
I know. I haven't sat down and played it, but I want to.
I know, it's so good, and I'm only about an hour in. It really is that good. It's stopping me from playing Dead Space Remake.
Oh my gosh. I'm in such a crazy mental place right now. All I want to do is play Power Wash Simulator.
That's because I'm not making the joke that every other podcast seems to have made about Laura's dirty manner.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh goodness, we won't touch that one. Yes, Pete.
Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
So this is now the second time I've watched this week.
Oh goodness, of course it is.
Well, look, I watched it for pleasure the first time. Second time was to make notes.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, originally I was going to write the notes on the day and then sort of casually drop into Mr. Overlord and go, oh, by the way, I've made notes on the Nintendo Direct. You want me to put something up? But I just couldn't be bothered. It's too late.
Yeah.
It was like 10 o'clock in the bloody evening.
I know. That's how it always goes.
Not always. Sometimes it's at like 5 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
Well, actually, that's a good point. Actually, why don't you let our listeners and watchers maybe know a little bit about Nintendo Directs and how often they happen and the excitement, I guess, leading up to them?
You mean the overexcitement, the stupidity that comes from the vast majority of the community about being impatient about how long they tend to take, and the fact that we have stupid Twitter bot accounts that say, how long since the last Nintendo Direct? Because a lot of them are freaking stupid.
Mostly that.
This is the first one that we've had since, I believe, September.
That soon? They were having heart attacks over being that? Okay, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me started.
I'm about to get you started. You're the show.
Yeah, I know, but the problem is that obviously you've got a lot of Nintendo fans out there that are incredibly impatient.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of Nintendo speculators who tend to sort of turn around and go, yes, we're definitely getting a Direct in January, when it's not been a Direct in January for a good few years, and it generally tends to be February.
Yeah. It's crazy. If you're on, like, the gaming anything on, like, Twitter or social media of any kind, the Nintendo, or the people that live for Nintendo Directs are insane.
Mental.
With their
absolutely mental.
With their zealot. It's absolutely, like, overzealous.
Okay. Look, I'm going to save most of my thoughts till the very end, if I'm honest, because I want to actually run through what was shown, what was spoken about, because... Just to put the cards on the table, this was a 40-minute Direct. 40? The first of the year. 40, yeah.
That's a long one, isn't it?
Usually about standard length for the first of the year.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot. They prefaced this by saying that the vast majority of stuff would be coming first half of the year, so detailing the plans for the first half, because, to be honest, outside of Pikmin and Zelda, we didn't really know a lot of anything about 2023 for Nintendo's schedule, so they've put a lot of plans in place to do with this. So let's get my 3 pages of notes. So I'm just going to run through, giving very, very brief stuff, obviously, as we talk about it, and then I can give you a little bit more of a proper rundown at the end.
Wait, Pete, you muted yourself.
I have not.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. What? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what is going on with our Discords. Discord just was like, you have a new device. Let's switch it.
Oh, so you're all right then? You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. You can hear me. But that was
sweet,
weird.
yeah, because I just paused the recording again.
No, that's good, because there was a hiccup there. You'll see it in the stream if you watch the stream.
Yeah, sure.
I know, Nana, I know.
Well, basically what I said was, Nana, I see your comment, and I'm going to get back to that at the end. Same with Rock'em Sock'em. I'll get back to that in the end. So... Anyway. Oh, yeah, sorry. So this is nothing to do with the Direct. It was the fact that a school campus shuts down because of fans' cryptic Nintendo Direct message. Now, the source is Kotaku, so I won't be opening that link, unfortunately. But yeah, I do appreciate passing that over. I'll have a look at it later.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yep.
So, let's get on with it. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of basically everything we saw. So, we actually started the show out with Pikmin 4. So, very solid start, I think. So this was a proper gameplay trailer, so gave you a bit of a cinematic to start, then showed you through what a lot of the stuff that we've got coming in the game. So I don't know, because I'm not a Pikmin fan, I don't know if these were part of free, but they may have introduced Ice Pikmin. So frozen lakes, meaning more traversal options, which is kind of cool. They also included, and I cannot remember the name because I forgot to note it down, but they've now got what someone tentatively called online Dogmin.
Oh.
So there's a
sounds
dog
interesting.
helper,
Aw.
but someone called him the Dogman,
Aw. That
which is
sounds
kind of cool.
cute.
So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna forever know it as the Dogman.
That's cute. I like
Um,
that.
Anyway, so that was a nice sizable chunk of the direct. It was a good few minutes. 21st July release date. So not too long to wait. About another 6 months. Kind of cool. Anyway, so next up we moved on to the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass, where they detailed what was coming in Wave 3, which is the new character Masha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Masha. So they've also got a roguelite battle mode coming. And they also detailed the announcement of Wave 4's story DLC, which will find a way to encompass Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 into 3.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so there was a return of Shulk there, which was kind of cool. Not a Xenoblade fan, however, that was kind of sweet to see.
Yeah, because I know the Xenoblade fans are they love everything. They're like,
Yeah, they do. And you'll be happy to know, if you're a Xenoblade fan, you probably already know this, February 16th for this Wave 3 DLC.
ooh.
So very soon, very soon. They did say that obviously the story DLC for Wave 4 will be coming later this year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, next up. This was a bit of a surprise, actually, because this is a series that's been kind of dormant for a little bit of time. Samba de Amigo Party Central.
I have no idea what that is.
Samba de Amigo is a music-based rhythm game from Sega.
Oh, okay, wow. So not Parappa the Rapper.
No, but if you remember when it came out, I believe, was it on the Dreamcast originally? They had the Maraca controllers.
Oh, yes, I do know that. Yes. Okay, I
Yes.
know
So
exactly
a
what
new
we're
entry
talking
in
about now.
yeah,
Yes.
new entry in the Samba de Amigo series, which
Call Me Kevin
looks
did a video on it.
it looks really cool actually. It's got some new game modes in it. There's a love tester in it, which I
Oh
thought
my
was the
gosh!
weirdest thing of all time, but kind
Oh,
of cool.
is it got the ghost of Grandpa Simpson in it?
No, unfortunately not, because that would have been even better.
Ah, Simpsons reference. Simpsons did it. South Park reference.
Summer 2023 for that one. Anyway, so next up, I didn't make many notes about this one. This is a game I have no interest in. However, I will admit that when I did see it the first time, I thought probably a game that I could probably purchase for my niece
All
at
right.
some point for a Christmas or a birthday. Fashion Dreamer.
Hmm. That's
So
cool.
yeah, so yeah, let's just say fashionista, sort of social media sort of stuff with
Oh,
that.
kind of like the mobile type games that are like that.
Uh, well, it's got its own in-game social media sort of thing, is what I
Very
mean. So
cool.
it's no direct to like Twitter or
Yeah.
that, but you gain points based on more stuff like that. Anyway, not my kind of bag, but did look at that and think, oh, good idea. Try
Yeah.
and get more cater for more of the larger audience that the Switch has got. That's coming in 2023 at some point. Now to a piece of DLC that we already knew about, but to actually see this in action with some of the remixes on play, this was awesome. And whilst I don't particularly like Metroidvanias, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania looks incredible.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it makes sense,
Yeah,
but it
it's the
was
game that was based on Castlevania,
right. But it was kind of very on the nose for me. It's funny. Dead Cells was the first game that was like going crazy when I very first got into games journalism.
Mm. Yeah, it seems like it might be a pretty good game, but it's like the Metroidvania roguelike sort of
Just
thing is just not for me.
no,
But to
still
hear
have
some
it.
of those classic remixes, like, so I think they stated that there was 12 remixes, but there was 50 something tracks from the original Castlevania series.
Oh right,
So
okay.
that's really cool. But also the fact that you get to use the weapons that were there, so like the whip, Alucard's sword, and yeah, stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
That is
So
cool.
that is actually coming March 6th. So pretty soon. Pretty soon. Next up, didn't make a lot of notes about this. Didn't really see what the heck was going on with it. Tron Identity.
Yeah.
So this is April 2023 release for this.
That's not too
Didn't
bad.
look like my kind of thing. Not a fan of Tron.
I like certain elements of Tron.
Okay.
But
Now, I couldn't work this one out. So someone please tell me if this is a remaster or remake. But Capcom appeared at this one.
Oh, yes.
With the return of a series that I should have played years ago. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Oh my goodness. That sounds Japanese, like a Japanese game.
So, yes, it pretty much is, but it's from the person who made the original Ace Attorney series.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which is why I say it's on my shame list. I probably should have played it, because they're apparently very, very good games.
That might be something for you then, Pete.
Yes, and I haven't got long to wait, because summer 2023 for this one.
Very cool.
So I will probably be picking that one up at some point. So yeah. Next up, I'll get back to that in a bit. So this one was an interesting one because this is I believe this is a level 5 game. So I'm not going to detail what else they've made in the past because that might be a bit of a spoiler for later on.
Right.
But this game is called Inkopolis.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the most JRPG you could probably find. That is probably one of the more intense games out there where I think, so you play as a bunch of police officers, but there are two worlds running simultaneously, the real world and the virtual world. So I think you go into the virtual world to uncover clues that will help you in the real world. And you do battles in there too.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Exactly. And it had I think the art style to it looked super anime, but it looked really, really cool, actually.
Yeah.
In motion, it looks very, very interesting, and it's probably... Whilst anime sort of like JRPGs aren't really my kind of thing, this looked completely my bag.
That's
so
cool.
I think I might pick this up.
I would like to know about that one.
Yeah, but unfortunately, long time to wait for that one because there was no actual release date other than 2023.
All right.
But hey, stupid name aside. Next up, we had a bit more information about Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. They detailed some of the actual gameplay of it and what the general purpose of the game is, where you're playing as Cereza. She cannot attack like she does in the Bayonetta series. You need a demon to do so.
Wow.
But she can imbue magic onto them to make the life easier.
Interesting.
So I thought this looked kind of cool. The art style looks interesting, but I'm not a big fan of the Bayonetta series, really, so it might not be up my alley. But fair play to anyone who's a massive fan who wants more lore.
Absolutely.
So not long to wait for that one either. So 17th of March for that, actually.
That's pretty good. Nintendo's got a pretty good stream coming in, of games.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Next up for the game that I do not care about anymore, and that's Splatoon 3. Until this DLC was revealed.
Okay.
So they are detailing their DLC pack. So they've got 2 waves coming, and they detailed what was coming in the first pack.
Okay.
Wave 1. The Return of Inkopolis. Now, Inkopolis was the hub world from Splatoon 1.
Right. Okay. Which I know Pete's excited about.
As soon as the music was like... The music kicked in and it was a classic battle theme, and I'm just like...
Aww.
You what? You what?
Aw, that's
like,
so cool.
Huh? And then I saw everything like remastered, and I'm like, oh, this is sick. So everything is available to you. Like if you own the DLC, you sort of go there so you can get different clothes that are more based on the Splatoon 1 variety of clothing. Yeah. Weapons will be the same there, but they'll be from different shop attendants. And everything, so you can do everything that you can already in the Splatoon 3's hub world, but if you preferred Inkopolis, you can just go there instead.
That's very cool. I have to say.
Also, it's the grand return of the Squid Sisters for the Splatfest as well.
Oh goodness, are they squids
so
or kids?
Inkopolis will have the Squid Sisters playing, and they are ultimately the best idols because Pearl and Marina are great, but I don't even remember what the name of the ones from 3 are because they kind of suck. And I know I'm going to get flack for that, I don't care.
I don't know, Pete. Honestly, because even I know about the Squid Sisters. Like, and I'm not, I've never played it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, of course.
I think they're way more well known.
Yeah. So spring 2023 for Wave 1. They did actually give a small teaser for what's coming in Wave 2, which looks like it's story DLC.
Oh, cool.
And
That's
that
cool.
was called Side Order.
Oh, there you go. That's cool. That's very cool.
Side Order of Fish. Anyway, yeah, so next up was a game that we knew about again, because this was revealed in September at Disney's Game Showcase, I believe. And this was Disney Illusion Island.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Is that anything like the old Illusion game that I can't remember?
What, you mean a classic platformer game?
Yes.
You would be correct. It is a platformer.
All right. Okay.
It is a 4-player co-op platformer, much in the style of new Super Mario Brothers, with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy.
Aw. That's adorable.
And it looks awesome.
Man.
Yeah.
Still not enough to make me buy a Switch, but that is adorable.
No. July 28th for that one. I would recommend looking at that trailer, because outside of the annoying trailer voice person, I thought the game looks super interesting. It looks cool. It's got some pretty unique like, I wouldn't say unique, but it's got some really nice mechanics in there that you can share health by going up and hugging the other player.
Oh my
Another one that
gosh.
I might consider picking up for me and my nieces to play.
Oh my gosh. The adorableness continues. Oh.
Yes, they bought a Switch, so they got a Switch recently, so I'm looking like the cool uncle.
Yes. Aww. That's
Okay,
cool.
right. I'm just going to run through this because Fire Emblem is not my thing. So
No.
anyone who is out there who loves Fire Emblem, I'm probably going to know exactly what all of this means. This means nothing to me. So Fire Emblem Engage DLC Pack 2 is including some new emblems. Now, emblems are characters, I guess, including Hector, Sorin, and Camilla. Pack 3 is going to include Crom and Robin. Oh, look, I got that one, because Smash Brothers.
Of course. Of course.
Also, and Veronica's also coming with Pack 3. Pack 4, will add a new story, which is called Fell Xenologue Unlocked. And no idea when any of that is coming, except for Pack 2, because Pack 2 was dropped straight after the presentation.
Right, okay.
You cut out.
I said, oh, that's interesting.
Yes. Yeah, they have done that a couple of times. They've done it a few.
Yeah.
Right. So next up we had Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, which is a narrative-based adventure with multiple pathways. No much really needs to be said about that one. June 2023. That's all the notes that I made about that one, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Next up we had this was basically like on another one of those, let's do some headlines, some big headlines. So we had a bit of chat about Octopath Traveler 2, which is due to come out in a couple of weeks.
Right.
So 24th of February for that one, but typical Square Enix with these types of games. There's a demo drop, and whatever you play on the demo now goes into the full game. So
I really like that.
I love it. Like I'm like, I'll give stick for Square Enix for some things that they do wrong.
Right.
But what they do right is this, and they've done it for several like RPGs recently, and I think it works very, very well because it, if you don't like the game, great, like hey ho.
Yeah.
But if you do and you want to carry it on, you at least haven't got to play it again, which is cool. But yes, I see you. Bueno. Anyway, next up, this one was I'd heard rumblings about this one beforehand, but this one was a little bit of a surprise. Not on my list of games that I'll play. We Love Katamari Reroll, and Royal Reverie.
Okay, cool. I loved the original Katamari
Damacy.
Yeah. Very fun game at the time. I've never replayed it. sure.
Yeah, well, they had the re-roll version that came out, which is basically a remaster.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to the next point that any Nintendo Switch Online members will get access to the demo of Katamari Damacy.
Oh, that's cool. That's very
And
cool.
We Love Katamari, obviously a remaster of the original game, is coming on June 2nd.
Excellent.
So next up we had Sea of Stars, which is a turn-based RPG. I'm going to run through this. Demo is out now for that, by the way, but it's out in August the 29th. By the way, they did this a lot during the Direct, and I think it's a good idea to drop demos for games that are coming.
Yes. I'm so glad to see demos back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sony's been doing that too.
Agreed. Now, this one was interesting until they mentioned the word free to play.
Oh.
I know, because it's called Omega Strikers.
Right.
It's essentially a free person air hockey like game.
Right, okay.
It looks so cool, but free to play had me worried.
Yeah. I'd have
So,
to look at that.
I'm going to give it a look, of course, because free to play, means I can
Yeah.
download it and try it at least. But that's out in April 27th.
Okay.
So, I'm going to hopefully not butcher the name of this. The Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection. So this is 3 games in the classic series of the Etrian Odyssey
I don't know what that
series. All bundled as one, remastered. But the good thing about it, if you don't like any of the games in the series, you can buy them individually.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which is something they don't tend to do very frequently.
That is true.
Thought it was a good idea. They've added some, obviously, quality of life adjustments to it to make it a bit easier on newer players, of course. So, fair enough. Can't argue with that. June 1st. June 1st. Next up, this game disappeared for real-life reasons.
Right, okay.
And has now reappeared. Don't know why, because real-life reasons are still ongoing.
Right.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's getting released in 21st of April.
That's...
So almost exactly like a year later.
That's crazy. I mean, it's good. It's just unexpected, so that's cool.
I
Say it.
got a theory about this.
Okay.
I got a theory that this was delayed through real world reasons, such as the Ukraine-Russia conflict.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But...
I think it's an excuse. I think the game was unpolished, not even ready to release anywhere close to it, and they used that as a way to go, let's give ourselves some more time.
Well, I mean, it's a good reason, though.
Well, it would be. It's the perfect way to go, we're delaying the game, but we're not without people realising they're delaying it because it's unpolished.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look, so they didn't really show much in terms of the gameplay stuff, I think, because everyone's already seen it 1,001 times.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork that they had available for it obviously clearly looks like cutscenes. I think they've improved it a fair bit. It looks like they've spent some time with it.
Right.
Which is why I'm sort of getting that impression. Anyway, so yeah, 21st of April for that one. Right, next up we had Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's coming out in 24th of February, so a couple of weeks from now. But they did detail a new part of the game, which is a new story content, which unlock after you complete the main campaign, which is called the Magalore Epilogue.
Say that again?
The Magalore Epilogue.
Okay.
There is a character in the game called Magalore.
Ah, right, okay.
So this is going to be a story that's focused solely on there. It's going to close out. There is now a demo available for the game as well. So 24th of February. Right. This is a big one, because this is where the headlines stopped and they went into a bit of detailing about something. This has caused some controversy online, let's say.
Okay.
But it's also got a lot of people very interested. Let's get into that, shall we?
Okay.
So there was a leak that came out, or some reports that came out last year, that Nintendo were preparing new consoles to be added to the Nintendo Switch Online platforms.
Yes, that is correct.
And A bit later than expected, they've dropped. And they were shadow dropped after this presentation, which was kind of cool. So for regular Switch Online members, you get access to the Game Boy library.
Right.
So let me run through the games that were detailed there. They did have a couple that were also that they listed there to show that are coming soon, including, this one was the biggest surprise, that one that was coming, Pokemon trading card game, which has been outdated for years.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
I don't understand that one, but the two that got me interested the most, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages and Oracles of Seasons. Oh my god.
Gosh. That's the two Zeldas I've never played. Did you know that? I'm pretty sure we talked about that.
We have.
Yeah.
I've also probably mentioned on it, they were made by Capcom.
Yeah!
And there was supposed to be a third game that never came out. Anyway, so let's talk about the actual lineup of what was available on launch for this one. So we had Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins.
Very cool.
Tetris, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX. Now, the DX version is important.
What is DX? Because Link's Awakening is one of my favorites.
I'll get to that in a minute. Gargoyle's Quest.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So Capcom have come up good in this. So
Yes, they
anyone who
have.
doesn't know what Gargoyle's Quest is, it's the game that includes Firebrand from the Ghost and Goblins series. Weird.
Oh,
I know.
goodness.
Game & Watch Gallery free. I thought this was a good addition, actually. Because it's a piece of history that nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
This one was interesting as well. Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. Game that I haven't played in years.
Yeah, Alone in the Dark.
Anyway, so we also had Metro 2, Return to Samus.
Oh, right, yes.
Wario Land 3, also known as Super Mario Land 3.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. It's Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land.
I didn't know that.
They just renamed it Wario Land 3.
I think it's because everyone called it that.
Pretty much, yeah. And then we've got, I think this one was clearly for brand synergy, by the way, Kirby's Dream Land.
Oh, yes.
The very first game in the series, which is also getting a deluxe version coming soon. So, anyway, the reason why I mentioned Link's Awakening DX, because Link's Awakening DX was technically the remake of the Game Boy game.
Yes, I loved that Game Boy game. It's one of my favorites.
In color.
Oh, I've never played the game.
And it had additional content to it.
Oh, interesting.
Because, so, let me mention this. So, one of the options that you have with the Game Boy emulator in this is that you have the toggle between the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy Pocket.
Aw.
Good old filtering options.
Yes, I love that.
That avatar in the background is really screwing with me, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know why. I should have turned that.
Anyway, so yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. So, I know it's caused a lot of problems online.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that at the very end. So, next up, if you're a Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass member, then in the Game Boy Advance it's come to it, and it's also been shadow dropped as well.
I saw that.
Now, did you see one of the games on there and think, oh my god, he's going to mention it?
Sure, but go ahead and
Don't say what it is. Because funnily enough, it was the first game that was on my list as soon as I wrote it, because it was the one that I remembered the most.
What is that, Pete?
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. One of the greatest Mario and Luigi RPGs of all time. In fact, one of the best Mario RPGs of all time.
That I've never played, and I'm pretty sure we talked about this on the show early days, because I didn't even know it existed, and you told me.
Rectify that immediately.
And you said that too. So
you should honestly rectify that immediately.
Yeah.
It has got one of the best stories in a Mario RPG game. But the humor is just second to none. It is so good. the battle system is incredible to it as well. So anyone who hasn't played it before and has the Switch Online expansion pass, this should be your first port of call to download because, my God, is it a wonderful game. So full of charm and personality, and
Aw.
my God, I'll get to that at the end anyway. So the other games that are also coming to this at launch was the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, which is a very, very good Zelda game.
Everyone thinks
Mario
that.
Advance Force, Mario Brothers 3, which is a pointless waste of time. You've got Mario Brothers 3 on the NES. What is the point? Oh
Yeah.
wait, hang on. You've also got Mario All Stars on the SNES version. What is the point?
What this last thing that Pete has said, that is actually like, if you have that, why do you need the other?
Wasted slot.
Ah.
Just look, I didn't. I'll be honest. I owned Super Mario Advance 3, which I think was Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
Made the game far too easy.
Well, what? There was definitely something on the Game Boy Advanced. I want to say the Game Boy Advance that was. It was a Mario game, but it wasn't like anything that was on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, because they made like a load of remakes, basically, essentially, which was known as the Mario Advance series.
Yeah, maybe that's
So
it.
So Mario Advance 4 is technically a remake of Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Advance 3 was Mario World, which is a pseudo remake of that.
That's what it was. That's what I had.
And that made the game ridiculously too easy as a result.
It was very strange. I just remember that, and it was easy because also the real estate, as in the square, was not very big.
It's tiny.
Yeah, and there was I don't know. Yeah.
But the remade graphics actually were really quite nice on a Game Boy Advance. To be fair, it was quite nice to be able to take a game like Super Mario World on the go.
Yes, absolutely. Oh,
anyway, next up they had WarioWare Inc. Minigame Mania.
Oh goodness! Oh, I love that.
Which is awesome. It's awesome. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So Japanese.
I'm gonna butcher the shite out of this. Let's be honest. Kuro Kurorin, which is kind of a puzzle game. Not one that I've played I've played before, but it does look fun. So I'm probably gonna play this.
I'm pretty sure I either played that or I watched somebody play that.
And yeah, the final game that was added, Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Yes.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
But they did detail, obviously, a couple of games that will be coming in the future. I can't remember most of them, but I know there was one that's going to cause a lot of stir, which was Golden Sun. My God, Golden Sun is coming back, and people are going to lose their proverbial minds over that when it happens. You need to get closer to Mike, because I can't hear you.
Sorry. Though, like, okay, I'll say this little piece while my brain is still functioning. I, as a kid, obviously, Nintendo was it for me and for most people. I mean, it wasn't until I was a teenager that I had, like, all the different Segas. And then PlayStation. I was just talking about this with somebody else, and we were going through all our different consoles coming up through the ages or whatever. But, like, there was just some moments. Can I just say that? There were some moments. Games were released, and they just defined our childhood / preteen, pre-adolescence, or whatever. And it is very interesting to see those games, like, repolished or whatever and put back out again. I know that's what they're doing. They're, selling our nostalgia back to us.
Yep.
But it really, we cannot sit here if you're in, the millennial bracket and probably some of the younger Gen X's and the older Gen Z's. Our life was Nintendo. It just was. I mean...
Yeah, it was even Nintendo or Sega back then.
Yeah, and even, like I said, Sega didn't come along until... Well, Sega wasn't affordable to the average, I'll say American, because obviously that's where I was raised, until much later. Because it came out twice the price of Nintendo, and, so That's what we
Yeah,
had,
and
you know?
basically until the Genesis was bundled with Sonic
Exactly.
1
Yep.
and
That's it.
reduced down in price.
Uh-huh. That's it. And I don't know, it's just interesting to see all these games re-released, and like the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance were such a vital part of my life, you know?
They were with me too.
Yeah.
Do
And
you know what I remember the most about the GBA though?
what's that?
It has absolutely no bearing on any game on the GBA itself.
What do you
Was
mean?
hooking that damn thing up to the GameCube to play Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, I hated the GameCube though. I know that's heresy, but I did hate it.
What, you mean the little lunchbox with a handle?
Yeah, which I have like 2 of them over here. But
You've got 2?
I've got 2. One of them is a
Send
limited
me one.
edition. No, one of them is a limited edition.
Nice try, though, wouldn't it?
But
Anyway,
yeah. That was just
let's move on quickly.
my little side thing. Trip down
Sure.
memory lane.
Yeah,
Lame?
I know.
Memory lane. Oh,
Pretty lame.
that's what it is.
Okay, I'm going to move swiftly on before you dwell on that for too much, because they then went back into some more headlines.
Oh goodness.
I'm not sure why this one was saved for a headline, because this went a lot longer than it should be.
Right. Okay.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Right. Oh,
So-
right.
I do love the fact that Nintendo likes to detail for everybody watching the stream how to play a twin stick shooter. Oh,
Yes.
This one controls the camera. This one controls Samus. Thanks, Nintendo. We've been playing shooters for years. No, to be fair, they didn't really have that option on Metroid Prime on the GameCube, so
Okay, that's
fair play
what-
to them.
yeah.
They've retooled it at least. I know what they were doing. It was just me being flippant about it.
Yeah, but I'm glad they did. Because
And,
the GameCube controller is awful and terrible. I said it. I said it out loud.
The GameCube controller is one of the best controllers ever created, actually.
I don't.
And there is a reason why it has gone through multiple generations, include the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch now. And we'll probably go to the next console.
What if I
And
said?
it's
And Pete, don't believe me. Please don't believe me. What if I said that the Nintendo 64 was the best controller ever created?
I would say that you are smoking something and you should probably lay off it.
Wrong
Either
answers
that
only.
or you have free hands.
Oh my gosh! I know this isn't. We're gonna do an episode. Pete, we need to do an episode on controllers.
Yes, we do.
Okay, keep that. Because I do. I got stuff to say. But anyway, yes, continue on.
Got far too much to say about that
Yeah,
one. So
yeah.
writing it down.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing?
Just
Pete?
Anyway, so all I can say about Metroid Prime Remastered is the reaction has been incredible
It has.
to see a lot of people posting screenshots of it.
Yeah,
Because the game is out.
it is.
It was shadow dropped immediately after.
Yes.
And my god, the texture work on some of those environments looks incredible.
I was literally about to say, Pete, it's the best it's ever looked. I have not seen a lot of naysayers. I haven't seen any naysayers. So
No, I haven't either, because Metroid
Nintendo
Prime
did
1
good.
is the most revered of the series because it starts to tick. I didn't particularly like Metroid Prime 2. I never played 1. I
Oh,
just
okay.
didn't like 2.
No, I very much enjoyed the Metroid series. Okay, so I was kind of again. I was just going through the history of all the different consoles and games with a friend the other day, and they were saying how they never gelled with any of the Sega stuff because, especially with Sonic, because they couldn't relate to the lack of exploration and the speed was so fast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I loved, you know. No, I didn't stop and explore around any of the Sonic levels. I just knew where the secrets were, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, Metroid was the same. I mean, you can still spin in a little ball. Okay, fine. But I mean, Metroid appealed to that sense of, like, I didn't have to stop and look for things. Yeah. You know, and, you know, I think it was the best of both worlds or whatever. And I don't think I don't know, has anyone ever stopped to think about the similarities between Metroid and Sonic? Because they're there. They are
It's
there.
quite similar, except obviously the speed.
Well, yeah. It is definitely not fast.
Yeah, exploration and
Not
sort
gonna
of
go
stuff
fast.
like that, and level layering, I guess, is
Yeah,
one of those things.
and physics, the physics as well,
Yes,
because you had
sure.
to snake up things and stuff. Anyway, that was just me having a weird
Mm.
tangent.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, Shadow dropped. However, physical version is coming at the 3rd of March.
Oh, nice. So Nintendo's still doing physical versions.
I think they're smart to do so.
Of course you do.
I know I've seen people, specifically previous guest Richard, has said he's holding off on buying it until the physical comes out.
That's very interesting.
So I can't argue with that at all. Anyway, next up we had a game called Master Detective Archive, a Rain Code,
Okay.
30th of June. Yeah, can't say I noticed much about that at all.
Recognize that at all, no.
Next up, we had something that was rumoured beforehand, but is now officially confirmed. That is the Baton Kaitos 1 and 2 remasters.
Right, okay.
Now, Baton Kaitos is a deck building RPG game from the GameCube era.
Oh, the lovely GameCube, where I played nothing from Nintendo, basically.
Yes. So that's summer 2023 for that one, and I know a particular Rapid Reviews rated is very happy about that one, and that'd be Toby.
Very good, very good.
Yes. Next up, we had Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time.
That's a cool
all right,
title.
actually.
I don't know anything about it, but that sounds cool.
It seems like it's got a lot of time travel elements of it. It's like
Like Chrono
kind
Trigger?
of Animal Crossing like sort of thing.
So is it like Chrono
where you've got
Trigger?
two different time periods.
So Chrono Trigger.
Not quite an RPG though.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
like
see.
island survival sort of thing. The things that you do in the past will have a huge effect on the future, I guess.
Like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, so 2023 for that one. Now, the reason why I didn't mention what Level 5 did before was because Level 5 decided to introduce Professor Layton and the new world of Steam.
Oh, that's right. People are so happy about that. I think that's lovely that they love.
The Professor Layton series is huge.
Yeah, people love
Massive.
that. I don't get it, but I love that people love it.
No, neither do I. Look, I've never played them. Like,
no, I haven't
in fact,
either.
I never even played Phoenix Wright versus Layton, and I really wanted to, but that game is now stupidly too expensive to buy.
That's so weird.
So anyway, no date for that one. It was just a small stinger teaser for it to show that Layton is back. Now, very, very cool. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 4 DLC.
Yeah, they're just gonna use that forever, huh?
No, there's 8 packs, isn't there? So.
Oh, okay.
So this is the 4th pack.
At least you know how many packs are coming.
Yes, that is true. Now, interestingly enough, they've done something a bit different with this one because they haven't shown you what courses are coming, except for one.
Why is that?
And they're doing something a bit off the grain here. It's a whole brand new course called Yoshi's Island.
No way! Is it based on Yoshi's Island? That was a fun
You would be correct in thinking so.
So cute.
But they've also gone against type as well. There's a new character being introduced this time again.
Is it Birdo?
And it's a character that we have not seen since the GameCube version, which is Birdo.
It's Birdo! I love Birdo. Birdo is so cute. I'm sorry, Birdo. I'll just do this for our listeners, and then we'll hurry because Pete's gotta go. But, like, Mario 2 is my favorite. Believe it or not, it is my favorite Mario game. People are like, what? Mm-hmm. But it is. I just love Mario 2, and I know it's not anything. It's not really a Mario game or whatever. But Birdo and the Mouse King?
Mouser.
I was getting him confused with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the frog guy. They were bad guys.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like Toad King or something. I don't remember.
I think it is the Toad King, actually.
Yeah. Because I think he's got a crown on. Anyway, they were just some of the coolest bad guys. And Birdo was so cute. And I love that they were bringing Birdo back. And they've just made Birdo be cuter and cuter as the years go on.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Anyway, spring 2023 for that one, so you can probably expect that they'll announce a few, obviously, the rest of the actual courses itself. But nice to see that they're putting a bit of effort in, which was the complaint that most seem to be leveraging towards the DLC pack, was that it's just easy to port these. No, they're actually doing work.
Ooh.
Good on them. Anyway, so I'm going to run through. This is where we got run through very quickly because this
Yeah.
is the sizzle reel that was towards the end before the final thing. So just going to run through these quickly. Minecraft Legends coming 18th of April. Blank, which is the 14th of February. That was that super cute animal game with no dialogue.
Right, right.
You would have seen it anyway.
Yeah.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection coming on the 14th of April. Have a Nice Death, the 22nd of March. WBSC Baseball Power Pros, which was Shadow Drop. This does actually look pretty good, by the way.
Does it? I used to love baseball games.
Yep. Disney Dream Light Valley. Now, game's obviously in beta. There's a new realm coming, which I believe is the Lion King realm, and it's coming in April.
I've been playing it already.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. And then the last thing that was shown was Tales of Symphonia Remastered, 17th of February. That was on the sizzle reel, so I know one Mr. Punk who will be engrossed in that as of then.
Very good, very good.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
Even though he's not saying the
punk?
next word.
He's a punk.
I would have gone a lot stronger than that, but hey.
We need to get him back on the show.
We do. Anyway, so the very final thing that they showed, and this was absolutely no surprise to anybody that was there, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
That's what I'm talking
about. With its 12th of May launch date, collector's edition, which is now officially sold out in basically every single place around the world, and a new amiibo coming for Link.
Can we talk about that and then to wrap up the show?
Let us talk the trailer.
Okay.
So, from what I can see from this, there are new runes. So the Sheikah Slate will have some new runes on it, including some platforms, I guess. I can't say I knew too much about that.
Yeah.
New traversal options, including vehicles.
Yeah. New mechanic.
Including a sky-based vehicle, which looked really freaking weird, if I'm honest.
Weird, but also when you see it in action, not unexpected.
No, it makes complete sense, especially if the vast majority of the game is going to have a tie towards Skyward Sword.
Right.
And obviously, we'd seen in previous trailers that there are sky worlds.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a way to get up to them other than those really weird portals that were shown in the previous trailer.
Bioshock Infinite.
Yes. And there would look like there was also a new arrow type, which looked like a homing arrow.
Yeah. Which is really, for me, more of a quality of life update that they should have had.
Yes. However, there was one big thing that happened towards the end of the trailer. And I'm wondering if you picked up on it.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
What?
If you are in need, give them your hand. Or something along those lines. And we see a brief glimpse of a second character, which I surmise could be Linkle.
Right. I did see some conjecture about that. That's interesting direction that they're choosing. If true, that's an interesting direction they're choosing to go.
Yeah, I would say go back and watch the trailer towards the end again and see. And it is very, very for me, and I'm not the biggest Zelda fan in the world, does really look like it could be Linkle.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and I think that I think the co-op thing gonna come true, but I don't think it's Zelda and Link. I think it's Link and Linkle.
I think you're probably correct there, and I think that's probably the better way to go.
I agree, because look, they might have swapping characters because there's some key art that's come out from it with Zelda holding a Sheikah Slate. Look, the art style I'm digging this time around. Again, I think it looks really cool. Whilst I obviously was very lukewarm about Breath of the Wild the first 2 times I played it, I'm a bit more excited about it this time around.
Well, let's discuss a little bit of the controversy around it, and then we'll wrap up. But Pete,
people thought this was a mid-show, or even bad.
I saw now. Again, I want to preface this to our audience. I'm not a Nintendo person,
Hmm.
modern Nintendo person. Absolutely all the respect and love for my childhood. So I don't have the same emotional ties to, let's say, the community or the directs or any of that kind of stuff. But I saw person after person complaining
Hmm.
about this direct. And
Yeah, so did
I'm
I.
shocked at that because, as an outside observer to the Nintendo community, they never seem happy.
Do I look happy?
Well, but Pete, you were happy. What did you think of this? What would you classify this direct as?
I'm verging somewhere between a very high B plus and a very low A minus. Actually, I thought this was an absolutely solid showing from Nintendo. First one of the year is always a
Mm-hmm.
tough one to sort of gauge, but I think they've covered basically nearly all the angles.
Uh,
Um,
a lot of
they've
shadow
catered
drops.
for basically the vast majority of
Mm-hmm.
audiences that were there, including younger players,
Mm-hmm.
the older players who are going to be interested probably in the virtual console stuff or
Right.
virtual console.
Yeah.
That's the only criticism that I sort of have with this. Is it feels a bit gross that they're upping the subscription stuff basically
Okay.
to
See,
resell some of the ROMs that they've had from the Wii U,
that's
which
what I want to talk
kind of
about.
disgraceful if I'm honest.
I, again, for our audience, outside observer of this, because I have access to my own ROMs. But that really struck me as a cash grab.
It did to me as well. But I
And
not to say that I wasn't hyped about it at least.
right, exactly. Like even if I say something is, maybe negative or a cash grab or something like that, I'm not saying it's all bad. You know what I mean? That's for our audience.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what. And Pete, I want to know your thoughts and feels on this. Breath of the Wild 2 coming in at a $70 price tag. You know it's going to be 70
Mm.
pounds. You know it's going to be the equivalent. It
Yeah,
always
of
is.
course it is. I already know that anyway because I think it's detailed.
Oh, probably. See, wouldn't
So
surprise me.
I believe there was an article that came out not long either before or after talking about this where I think it was stated that Nintendo were going to be dealing with the £70 or $70 pricing on a case by case basis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my theory is on this one is that they're prepping people for the next generation of consoles where it's undoubtedly going to be £70 or $70,
Uh-huh.
and their big AAA titles like the next Mario game, this Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Don't want to name drop it, but F-Zero, if it ends up coming out, I think will maybe a $70 game, but unlikely for that one. But if you know what I mean, the heavy hitters are probably going to be at a $70 price point from now on. Um, Now it's disappointing to say the least because um, I think the Switch is really and I've been the first to deny this as anyone, but I think the Switch now is starting to show how old it is.
Yes, I
So
wanted
to
to talk
try
about
and
that
force a
too.
70
Mm-hmm.
pound price point on that as such, majorly disappointing and feels a bit like a cash grab in a very tumultuous
Yeah.
financial situation for most, and very short sighted of Nintendo to do so.
Surprising
Um,
to me, anyway.
it was to me as well,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the first time that they've ever done things like this. And with the way that the video game industry was going, we already knew this was kind of going on because even Xbox came out and denied it,
Mm-hmm.
and basically their games are now going up to $70 as well.
Yeah.
So when Sony upped theirs and there was absolute outcry about them, Nintendo and Microsoft were the first to come out and go, "We're not doing that," or "We have no plans at the
Mm-hmm.
moment," which always means we have plans at the moment. Oh crap!
Yeah. You're
Oh, I am
good.
still being picked.
Yeah,
Cool.
you're fine.
Sorry, no voice meter went funny.
Oh, it's just one of those nights. Our
It
wonderful
is, yeah.
listeners get to experience it
So
with us.
so yeah, it's just one of those things. I think is a little bit outrageous. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit sort of like we're just sort of going along with the curve. This is the way that the video game industry is going. They'll claim that they've never increased their prices, but they always have. And it is also not even our problems as consumers that your budgets seem to be going through the roof because you keep adding more and more to your games. That's not our problem.
Right.
Not everything has to be about graphics. It can be about gameplay.
Yeah.
So, but in the grand scheme of things, look, Nintendo are a business. They're not our friends, and they've never made it abundantly clear that they are our friends.
Yeah.
You know, you have to remember that they are running a business, like with Microsoft, like with Sony. And if you don't particularly like what they're doing with this, vote with your wallet and don't pay the money.
Yeah.
But then you've got people in our own Discord who are turning around and complaining about the $70 price point, and I won't mention them by name, but then turning around and buying a $120 bloody collector's edition for Zelda. I'm afraid to say that your point is incredibly redundant then, and it's not meant to mean offence to anyone, but you have no position to stand on if you're going to complain about $70 games when you go and buy a collector's edition. You don't like the game, don't buy it. You don't like the price point, don't buy it. If you're not happy about what's going on with the state of the company, don't support them. But don't criticize them to then go and throw money at them like a fool. And this is where the problem I have with this, and this is where the epic rant, like you said, was coming.
Yes.
Because a lot of Nintendo fans and a lot of people on social media, when it comes to games that they like, become the most hypocritical people of all time, and it has become an absolute disgrace to even be associated with some of them anymore. Because people complaining that this direct was crap clearly weren't watching the same thing that I was.
I mean, there's a lot of shadow drops.
Yeah, it's not the shadow drops. It's nothing to do with the shadow drop. The shadow drops that they did have are great,
I think,
to some degree. But the problem is that I think a lot of people go in with too high expectations about what Nintendo are going to offer. Like, this whole meme of what's coming, and I'm going to be the first that are going to perpetuate the meme by doing this. But the ones that go in and turn around and say, oh, Mother 3 is coming, Mother 3 is coming.
Whatever. Mother 3 is never coming.
You know, it's getting very boring. It's become a meme. It's become a joke.
Yes.
But some people take this well too far. I mean, even on our own Discord, like I said, there were people talking about the Switch Pro. And it's like, Nintendo have made it very abundantly clear that they're not even touching the Switch Pro anymore. So why did you think a Switch Pro was even going to be announced in February? If anything, why are they going to do it in a direct anyway? They'll do it on its own.
They will. Didn't they do some kind of OLED announcement?
Yep, that was done completely separate of a direct.
Oh, okay. See,
they always do it separately. But anyway, so I'm going to perpetuate the meme even more by them introducing the GBA. I think this is the way that they introduce Mother 3, but it's going to be a long way coming. And if they do it, it will be through gritted teeth because Nintendo do not want to release it.
I don't know.
I don't even think it's going to happen, but I'll be honest. But look, we need to. The reason why I enjoy Nintendo Directs now, because a couple of years ago, absolutely hated them with passion.
Yes.
Because I was that person who went in with too high expectations. Yeah. I always went in thinking, we're going to get a new Mario game, we're going to get this, we're going to get that. No, if you go in and you think, they're not catering to me as a hardcore gamer, they are catering to the 120 million players around the world, a lot of them kids and a lot of them parents, they're going to put some games out there that are not going to be for you. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They are catering to an audience, and like I said before, they are a business.
Yeah, 100%.
If they catered solely to the hardcore gamers out there, the Switch would be the Wii U.
I think you're actually very correct in that, believe it or not.
Is where we end.
Yeah, or do you want to go over chat, and then we'll wrap this up?
Yes, let's go through that quickly, but I have got to go.
Yeah, no, you gotta go.
So, right, so let's run through this very quickly. So, Nana put, of course, technical issues had to happen. Yes, they did. Rock'em Sock'em Holt then put, that moment is etched into my memory. This is why I was coming back to this one, Nana. The Direct was a level 5 and remasters Direct. Not going to solely disagree with you there. We already mentioned that one. What is happening due to the technical issues.
Yeah.
Nana then put, stunned to see Samba de Miego in this Direct. I think the Tron thing is for the new Tron shows coming up. Makes sense. I think there's a new movie coming out as well.
There is.
Anyway, Rock and Suckham Hulk then moved on to say, "I'm looking forward to that Disney one." I agree. I think it looks. I think it looks interesting. Then Brent put, "Bueno, my power just came back on, or I would have been here sooner."
Bueno.
Thank you very much. And then he put to Nana saying, "Good to see you holding down the chat." The Chads are here.
I was gonna
Can't just have one anymore.
Yeah.
Assistant Chad. Nana said, "I'm curious to try the Katamari game. I think you should try the Katamari game because they're fun, but they're not my kind of games."
Oh, I love them.
Will be interested to see what he does. Brent put, "Would Nintendo lie to consumers like that?" Yes. Yes, they would. They're a business. They're a corporation. They do it all the time. He then put, "I am excited for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, especially Tetris and Link's Awakening. Can't wait for some of my favourite GBA games to come to the service." Me neither.
100%. I'm on board with that.
Yes. So, Brent, I will say keep an eye on your DMs in the next week or so, because I will get in contact with you about potential of the expansion pass. Maybe potentially nearly bite the bullet on it.
Interesting.
None of them put, "I hope a lot more people play Minish Cap." Brent then put, I guess I should plan to play through Zelda on the cruise." Brent then put, you didn't see that the game tickets Nintendo are selling? You buy 2 tickets for $100 to use on a selection of digital titles. Last check, Tears of the Kingdom was part of it." Yes, that's been a thing for quite a while if you're a Nintendo Switch Online member, is that you can buy a ticket for £84 or $100, as you said, and it basically is like a mild discount on some of the eShop games.
That doesn't make sense.
And some of the first-party titles are included in it. You know how those games never go down in value. Xbox so it's a way to try and get them in.
Xbox Game Pass forever.
Yeah, I know. Rock'em Sock'em Hulk then put, "I'm just happy they dropped GoldenEye a few weeks back for the N64, and I'm getting to that in a moment." Brent then put, "I'd rather have Mother 2, but I'd be happy with 3 nonetheless." Well, Mother 2 is already on there as Earthbound.
I was gonna say, I know we talked about that. No, we did.
And Earthbound Beginnings is also on there, so, you've got 2 previous games in a series.
Earthbound is so cool. It's so cool.
Anyway, I'm going to get back to this one about the GoldenEye comment.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah.
Because I played GoldenEye today for the first time since 1997.
How is it?
It sucks.
Okay, now when you say it sucks, okay, so this is what I heard, Pete, and you tell me.
Played it on the Xbox version, by the way.
That's fine. This is what I heard. This new edition makes it feel like it did in our youth.
Yes, it did. So at least the dual stick controls, they've actually done a lot to optimize it for the modern generation of consoles.
But it's better?
Kind of.
Okay.
Like, it feels nice to play with Ting Stick.
Not like?
The game. The game's aged like crap.
But do you mean when you say you don't like the graphics? You don't like just the play style?
No, to be honest with you, I've said this for years, that GoldenEye was a relic of the past and should have stayed as a relic of the past. The game run like complete shite anyway when it dropped on the N64. Yes, they've made this one better, but it's still only 30 frames on the Xbox, because that's all they can optimize. And even then, there is incredible amounts of clipping, flickering, environmental stuff. It's just a bad port of it. A really bad port of it.
Is it a bad port, or is it just a bad console that it originated on? I would say that.
I would also say that as well. Like, I like the N64 for certain things, but it is not a great console. Anyway.
When I saw Sub-Zero on N64, I was done. That was me done. I was like, I'm PlayStation all the way. Pete, what was Riddick on? The Chronicles of Riddick. That was on the 64.
Xbox, PS2.
Was it on that? No, it was on a Nintendo one.
Yeah, GameCube.
Was it the GameCube?
Yeah, it was on that generation of consoles, so it was PS2,
Apparently,
Xbox.
it's the best game ever created on the GameCube. It pushed all the limits and stuff.
I agree.
All right, Pete has to leave. We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So we hope you've enjoyed this. This little Nintendo Direct wrap up. Because Pete was the best one to do this, so...
Also, can I just finish up by saying, please temper expectations when you go into a Nintendo Direct, and then you won't walk away disappointed and then talk a load of crap online about it.
Basically that. And, I'm going to agree with Brent. Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye. Perfect Dark is so good.
It is, but it still runs like hell on the N64.
I hope that you're still making that remake.
I mean, look, let's be honest with you. You know, if a game requires an expansion pass to even run well, then is it really good?
That's an interesting thought.
But Perfect Dark is the better game out of the two. And Perfect Dark was originally supposed to be GoldenEye 2.
It was, yeah, it was. But they changed the protagonist, and she's amazing.
No, it's because they couldn't get licensing for the 007 franchise again.
I know, but they ended up with an awesome protagonist.
They did, yeah.
See, there could be a female Bond.
Yes, they could.
But, yes, we thank you so much for joining us. And this has been a fabulous episode, and I hope you love the bait and switch at the title and the beginning. Pete, where can they find you? I am on like glass 6 of my pink Prosecco. So, Pete, where can they find you?
I'm now back on Twitter, so you can find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1. You can also just get in contact with the Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast Twitter at our Radio Pod. That'll be at the end anyway. And please check out the Never Watchers podcast. We just released the 4 Love and Blunder episode.
So true. So true.
Yes. Kylie, what about yourself?
Okay, so I'm actually enjoying Twitter again and having fun on Twitter. I was not having fun for a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm having some great interaction. So if you want to come and just chat to me on Twitter, please do. It's fun as heck. Don't be creepy in my DMs.
Yeah.
Full stop. Although I have to say, anyone listening to this has never been creepy, and they're amazing and all that kind of stuff. What is my...
Kylie's great.
At KYTHGRET. Please, please, please feel free to join in any of my crazy meandering threads. I love to talk philosophy and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be talking a lot of AI stuff. I've got so much to say about AI.
Yeah.
So please join in the fun. There's someone always in my threads, and you can always join in. And I think... Oh, and then I'm over at Instagram at Kiley Yellick. It's all CrossFit stuff.
In the show notes.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for us. So we thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye!
Nintendo Directs are awesome. Temper expectations.
And thus ends the show, the podcast show. We'll only do about a minute or two because Pete's got to go.
Yeah. Right, that's me done anyway.
I was going to say, you really do have to go. All right, we're just going to go ahead and end it. Thank you guys so much.
Sorry, guys.
So fun.
It's
Pete's
crazy
birthday.
Things. I've got a friend that I need to go and see. It was the only time that it was free. So.
Yeah, but it's been fun. You guys were amazing in chat. I love it when you guys show up, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Boy.